Stop it, you two.
So, as I was going to say, Joe Swash...
See, if I was presenting this programme, I would have let him go early.
You're not presenting this programme,
because you're
I
a
am.
stickler, you're sticking to rules and scripts.
Because things have been organised.
What she done highlighted my mistake.
So you were going to ask me what?
I was going to say, I've been concerned about your back.
Oh, well, thanks for asking, mate, because obviously no one else seems to ask or be worried about me sharing this. I'm not one to complain. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like complaining.
Yeah.
But, Joe, it's 3 slip discs.
Oh, mate, honestly, me and Stacey, we've been thinking about you. There's nothing worse than seeing you in pain, because you're such a jolly fella. See you in pain.
It's me, a jolly fella, that's me. That is me, a jolly fella. And I actually have to come on here with a crutch. That's the way I am at the moment. That's well, no, it's pretty bad. But honestly, the thing about this, what I want to say to people is that we could sit here and talk about me, and you know, I've got steroid injections, and you know, everything's okay, and hopefully I'll be on the mend. But what this has envisaged for me is to see how many of you suffer from chronic pain. Chronic pain, no matter what causes it, and it doesn't discriminate between whether you're young or old, or man or woman or whatever. People who've got rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, car accidents. You know, there's so many reasons, and the worst thing, and how I found out so many other people were suffering from chronic pain, was I couldn't sleep at night. I just couldn't sleep, you know, lying there at night, trying to get any sleep while Ruth was sound asleep beside me there. I just, honestly, it was awful. Trying to sleep was awful.
Well, it's not sleeping is really hard. Yeah. Because it's hard dealing with pain anyway, isn't it? Constant
honestly,
pain.
sometimes...
And if you don't sleep...
I've had nothing like that, but you know you've had a bellyache or something all day and you think, I forgot what it feels like to be normal. Just let me be normal again. I can only imagine that.
Well, I'm 6 weeks down the road with that, and I've got the injections which have taken away the acute pain, and I can sleep, and that is a blessing, absolutely great. But the physicality of, you know, not being able to walk straight. But, you know, I'm going to embark on a whole rehabilitation programme. I'll get fit, I'll get strong. It will take a while. Yeah. Funny, the doctor said to me, when you get this, your nerve endings die off. He said, but they grow at 1 centimetre a month. And I thought, oh, that's good. That sounds quite good. He said, no, but it's got to go from your hip to your toes.
Oh, grief.
Wow.
So we've just been talking there about, you know, Eamonn and his back pain and his bulging discs, and it's been very, very difficult. We were just wondering about how that affects, you know, your partner, and who's the carer, who's the caring one in your partnership. If either of you are ill, who looks after who? I
say we're both very caring. We've both got quite a caring bone in our body.
If you had 3 slip discs, I would definitely care for you. But if you've got the common cold...
I've got to get past Stacey that I'm actually ill before I get any infection. So there's certain tests I need to pass, and a lot of the times I don't pass them tests.
Because you're not really that ill.
Unless I convince her that I'm ill, I'm not getting nothing.
How does he convince you if he's ill enough?
I mean, if he was genuinely ill, so if it wasn't a cold, maybe a bit of diarrhoea, you know, just like there's the sort of level...
You didn't have to do the diarrhoea one, did you? I mean, she didn't have to do that.
There's the level one sort of common cold, nothing serious, sorry, get up, let's go and carry on. Then there's the level 2s that I get slightly more affectionate as the illness.
The iller I am, the nicer she is, which is really weird, because you think it'd be the other way around, wouldn't you? No, the healthy way I am, No.
I'd care for you if you were really ill. It would worry me, and I would want to be there for you, definitely.
But to get you to believe
But you
that
have
I'm
a cold almost every day.
No, I don't have a cold every day.
I can't feel so. I can't be Mother Teresa every day.
My slip discs apparently are my fault. I don't know how they're my fault. I don't even know how they happened. Yeah. But I would say this: I think it's the fault of people who design chairs, who design cars. There's so many things. Beds, you get beds that are practically on the floor, or beds that are too high. Wait till you get to an age and a stage where you think, who designed this sofa? Who designed this chair? Because I really do think people have a lot to answer for, people who are supposed to be involved in ergonomics, and these things are moulded to your body. Most chairs and sofas are far too low. Most cars are impossible to get into.
My dad was a London taxi driver, and he would spend a lot of his time in his seat. But he would go and run. He'd done a lot of running to counteract that. And he'd say, like, oh, I'm sitting down my back, so I need to get and do some running. So he'd done a lot of that. But you're right, I do
What did Liam Neeson say to you?
He said to me, Eamonn, motion is your lotion.
Motion
is your lotion.
Sorry, what's that got to... Sorry,
well, just say, but Joseph, you've got to keep moving.
For? What was that for?
I just said, what did Liam Neeson say to you?
So what you're trying to say is that I don't motion my lotion or lotion my motion?
Well, I think you could probably lotion your motion a little bit more occasionally.
So
not right now.
So you hold that against me?
No, I didn't hold it against you. I'm just saying it's a good point that Joe made about his dad.
Whereas I blame chairs and beds. Just hold on, we've had a very important viewer who's been in touch, my mother.
Oh, yes.
My mother today, and she's a bit concerned that I may not be being looked after at the moment. And
You've just made that up yourself.
I'm not making it up. She phoned me there and she said Joe was the same. And she said the reason Eamonn and Joe feel that they're not looked after when they're ill is because they're not being looked after by their mothers. Yeah. They don't get they think they don't get the same love.
I always say you care as much as our mums, do they?
Oh, but I always say your mummy will look after you. You can go back.
But I'm not your mother. I'm your wife. I'm not your mummy. I didn't marry you to be your mummy.
But my mummy's the most impressive woman I've ever met.
Your mummy is. She is the most impressive woman.
And she's watching now.
Well, Mrs. Holmes, I look after him as best I can. Sometimes you won't be told, though.
Sometimes best is not enough.
But anyway, welcome back to Loose Loved Ones.
Yes.
I want to give
and joining me, Ruth Langsford, obviously, is my hubby, who I don't look after very well.
Who's ill?
Eamonn, who's very ill. You can see he looks half-starved, doesn't he? He looks really ill. Stacey Solomon and her fiancé now, Joe.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Whose wedding's happening on the...
Don't
do it, please.
He's in enough trouble as it is.